The river management is where we often go in to do an action, but it's really a function of what's going on right outside the river, where people have first come into the land, where people are living, and where a lot of our infrastructure is located. So it leaves us in pinches that we have to manage in the channel, but it's really because of what's going on in the floodplain. So let's move forward. So where have we come from? Anyone seen this slide before? Crooked streams are a menace to life. We've actually come a really long way from the way we used to manage channels. They were a negative thing, and I think probably all of us are here because we really enjoy the important values and economic aspects that rivers provide, fishing and water quality. My favorite Greek philosopher is Heraclitus, and he said you can never step in a river twice. Think about that for a second. So fishermen probably know this really well. Every time it rains, you're just like, where'd that hole go, or where'd that bar go? Rivers are constantly evolving and they're dynamic. And I think our early river management did not acknowledge that. And I think now we're moving to a place where it's primary into how we think about rivers. This is a really important concept, and I hope will forever change the way you see a river. Rivers go through evolutionary stages, typically over geologic times, but when a flood comes, a river runs through a lot of these very quickly. You can see they're connected to their floodplains. Then they cut down, as this gentleman said, and then they widen out. Okay, and then they actually, as that material comes down, they fill a little bit and reconnect old floodplains. The point is that all rivers cut down and all rivers widen out, and then they'll kind of build up a little bit and re-go through the cycle. Rivers migrate across the landscape. They go from headlands to ocean, and they carry water, sediment, debris, ice, and anything else that gets in their way during floods. And they do it in a balance with sediment and flow. And then there's resistance. Then there's the material in the bed, and then there's stream power. I'll talk more on power, but again, power is the ability of the stream to do work. And this is really the slope of the channel and the flow in the channel. And so there's a balance here. So all rivers out there are working to this balance, and the way they do that is they adjust their size and shape, and they adjust their curvature. Okay, so flows are increasing. Okay, let's pull this side of the scale down. This arrow goes that way, and we get degradation. You just saw a picture of degradation, the excessive downcutting of the river. Now, what I've seen is this scale really teeters back and forth. Sometimes you're in degradation and sometimes you get aggradation, and that's equilibrium. You have not an excessive change. But then when you get changes in the corridor and floodplain, your flows can't get out on their floodplain. So the answer to the question is, yes, rivers do this naturally, but no, they don't do it at the scale we see because we've transformed the floodplains and river corridors that they migrate through. Okay. And you can see this, I love driving through the Catskill towns, levee, wall, riprap, floodplain. And it's nice to sort of try to, pick out those areas where the river can express itself, not be as erosional, let go of some of its energy and material, and then kind of go through the villages in that confined setting. I think here we have to walk a balance of, can we get the water through certain spots and let it spread out certain spots, both for water quality, habitat, and for risk reduction. So this is a key concept, the equilibrium balance of streams.